How to Improve Absolutely Anything by Katie Labedz, Chapter 11. I have an affinity for sticky notes. The affinity diagram. When I was studying for my Lean Six Sigma black belt exam, there was so much information that I had to remember. As many of us know, after studying for a long period of time, the law of diminishing returns starts to slow us down. You can study your brains out 8 hours a day for a whole week, but you'll actually retain only about 25% of the material or less. The one tool I had such a hard time remembering was the affinity diagram. So I created a little memory device to anchor in my mind. I have an affinity for post-it notes or sticky notes. Yes, in my mind, the affinity diagram is the sticky note tool. It's another great brainstorming tool that you can use to come up with ideas on a topic or problem. We use this tool when we have a lot of ideas and or those ideas appear to be floating all over the place in chaos. The affinity diagram can be used in a variety of teams, but it's especially fabulous for a quieter, more introverted group of people who may not talk much and definitely don't want to speak up in front of a group of their peers. You can create an affinity diagram in person or virtual using an online tool, like we mentioned before, Mural or Mural. It begins with a topic to brainstorm or a problem to solve. For an in-person affinity diagram, all you need is a pack of sticky notes and pens for each person in attendance. Again, a cross-functional group of people is a perfect team to contribute to a wide variety of ideas. Usually 8 to 10 people make a perfect group for this. And this is a fun event. Just like the mind map, you can use an affinity diagram for a topic at work or at home, dealing with an idea or problem to solve. Both the affinity diagram and the mind map can be completed in less than 30 minutes, depending on the topic, and both offer an outlet to those creative ideas floating around in your mind to get them down on paper. For our example, let's explore a work topic, cybersecurity. Let's imagine our team wants to enhance the cybersecurity for our company, and we want to understand how to do this and what we need to consider. By simply listing the topics on the top of a whiteboard or screen to make sure everyone knows the focus of this activity. So that would be cybersecurity. Now the brainstorming begins. On the sticky notes, each person writes down their ideas, one idea per sticky note. When I facilitate one of these sessions, I usually tell the participants that they have to come up with at least 3 unique ideas. And this guideline always leads to more once they get warmed up. When everyone has written their ideas on the sticky notes, they post them on the whiteboard or the wall. It can look like a giant mess of sticky notes, and that's exactly what we want to see. Remember, no criticism of ideas. It's actually a good sign if you see multiple sticky notes with the same idea. Next, you organize all of the sticky notes into columns based on their similarities. Create a label for each column of information you created. Beware of the other column. Try not to have a column of sticky notes that are labeled other. It won't help you to solve your problems or come up with creative solutions. Make sure that every sticky has a home. If you're using the affinity diagram to come up with a solution to your problem, what's your next step? It's not super scientific. If you want to know where to focus your time and efforts, first, look at the column with the most sticky notes. In our cybersecurity example, we decided to investigate technology first. After you've looked into technology surrounding cybersecurity, then you're going to look into threats, which is the next column of information with the most sticky notes. When you're creating an affinity diagram, there's no cheating. In other words, we don't start with predefined categories for your affinity diagram. Let the ideas come naturally based on the suggestions from the group. If you want more structure, just hang on. We have one more tool for that. This is a living document, and you can update and revisit it as needed. For a more personal example, let's go back to the family vacation mind map. where we decided to explore a staycation that involves going to one of the state parks that has a beach. Based on our family vacation affinity, we first need to work on the destination. In this example, even though the camping type column has only 2 stickies, it's important to consider this element when determining the destination, as your choice will dictate the type of camping and vice versa. Now you know how to do both a mind map and an affinity diagram. Go back to that thing that bugs you the most. Explore both the mind map and affinity diagram to see what works best for you, and you'll have a solution in your hands.